What if I told you that you could buy a boxy, modern, rugged SUV packed with high-end tech, a turbocharged engine, intelligent four-wheel drive, and head-turning street presence for less than half the price of a Land Rover Defender? Is the Jetour T2 a genuine game-changer that disrupts the off-road market? Or is it just a clever homage to the legendary Land Rover Defender? Today, we are putting these two off-roaders side by side to analyze their official specifications, engine options, pricing, interior technology, and true capability. By the end of this video, you will know exactly whether you should save tens of thousands of dollars on the T2 or drop full luxury money on the Defender. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment below on which one you'd pick. Let's dive straight into it. The design and exterior presence. Let's address the elephant in the room immediately. When you look at the Jetour T2, there is no denying where its styling inspiration comes from. Both vehicles embrace the retro-modern, boxy SUV aesthetic that has dominated the automotive world recently. But when you look closer at the official dimensions and styling details, they tell two very different stories. The Land Rover Defender, specifically the Defender 110, is an absolute icon. It sits on a unibody platform designed for maximum off-road articulation and structural rigidity. It features short front and rear overhangs, signature Alpine light windows in the roof, flat side panels, and an upright tailgate with an exterior-mounted spare tire. In terms of dimensions, the Defender 110 measures roughly 5,018 millimeters in overall length, including the spare wheel, with a width of 2,008 millimeters and a height of up to 1,967 millimeters on air suspension. It looks imposing, refined, and engineered with purpose. On the other side, the Jetour T2 brings its own aggressive flair. It measures 4,785 millimeters in overall length, 2,006 millimeters in width, and 1,880 millimeters in height. While slightly more compact in length than a Defender 110, the T2 commands massive visual presence. Up front, you get bold LED matrix headlights housed in a squared-off frame, an illuminated Jetour grille, visible front tow hooks, flared wheel arches, and functional side mounting points for gear carriers and ladders. At the rear, you also get a side-hinged tailgate with a square rear storage box or spare tire carrier. The Defender looks like a timeless utilitarian luxury tank. The Jetour T2 looks like an aggressive, modern cyber off-roader built for the video game generation. Engines, powertrains, and performance. Now let's talk about what's living underneath these sculpted hoods, because this is where the price gap begins to show up in the engineering. The Jetour T2 keeps its global lineup straightforward and punchy. Under the hood sits a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder petrol engine. This power plant produces 251 horsepower, up to 254 horsepower depending on regional tuning, and 390 newton-meters of torque. Power is sent through an 8-speed automatic or a 7-speed wet dual-clutch transmission, depending on the market, mated to BorgWarner's 6th-generation XWD intelligent four-wheel drive system. For efficiency-focused buyers, Jetour also offers the T2 IDM plug-in hybrid. That combines a 1.5-liter turbo engine with dual electric motors to produce a combined 375 horsepower and 610 newton-meters of torque. In the standard 2.0-liter petrol model, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour comes in around 8.5 to 9.5 seconds, which provides plenty of punch for overtaking and daily highway cruising. The Land Rover Defender, however, offers a massive buffet of powertrains depending on how deep your pockets are. First is the P300, featuring a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder outputting 296 horsepower and 400 newton-meters of torque. Step up to the popular P400 and you get a 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-six with a 48-volt mild hybrid system, putting out 395 horsepower and 550 newton-meters of torque, accelerating 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 6.1 seconds. For pure thrill seekers, Land Rover offers the P500 and P525, with a 5.0-liter supercharged V8 pushing up to 518 horsepower. And at the pinnacle sits the high-performance Defender Octa, powered by a 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8 pumping out a staggering 626 horsepower and 750 newton-meters of torque. Every Defender comes equipped with an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission and permanent all-wheel drive with a true twin-speed high/low-range transfer box. If you want smooth, efficient, reliable daily power, the Jetour T2's 2.0-liter turbo is surprisingly refined and more than adequate. But if you want relentless muscle, high-speed desert stability, or V8 rumbles, the Defender's mechanical array remains unmatched. Off-road specs and hardware capabilities. Can the Jetour T2 actually follow a Defender down a rough trail? Or is it strictly a street cruiser dressed in boots? Let's look at the official geometry and off-road numbers. The Jetour T2 is genuinely built with real-world rough road specs. With ground clearance of 220 millimeters, wading depth of 700 millimeters, approach angle of 28 degrees, and departure angle 30 degrees. Adding to that the four-wheel drive system, BorgWarner XWD with smart automated terrain switching, X mode, and an electronic rear differential lock. The T2 handles sand dunes, rocky trails, mud, and trail obstacles with total confidence. Its intelligent system detects slip and locks torque distribution automatically without needing manual intervention from the driver. However, the Land Rover Defender is engineered for extreme expeditions across the globe. With a ground clearance of up to 291 millimeters when elevated on its optional electronic air suspension, a wading depth of a massive 900 millimeters, approach angle up to 38 degrees, departure angle of up to 40 degrees, and a four-wheel drive system. Permanent AWD with low-range gearing, active locking center and rear differentials, and Land Rover's award-winning Terrain Response 2 system, featuring adaptive off-road cruise control. While the Jetour T2 will comfortably handle 90% of off-road scenarios that normal drivers encounter, such as beach trips, camping, dirt paths, and moderate dunes, the Defender is a specialized expedition vehicle built to conquer rock crawling, deep river crossings, and extreme terrain that would stop standard SUVs in their tracks. Cabin tech, luxury, and interior features. Step inside both cabins, and the differences in philosophy become instantly apparent. In the Jetour T2, luxury and high-tech convenience take center stage. The dashboard is dominated by a massive 15.6-inch floating central touchscreen paired with a 10.25-inch full digital instrument cluster. Underneath that display is a high-speed Qualcomm Snapdragon 8155 microchip, ensuring smooth graphics and fast response times. The T2's interior features suede and leather upholstery, futuristic air vents, a chunky aircraft-style gear selector, customizable ambient lighting, a panoramic sunroof, wireless phone charging, and a premium 12-speaker Sony sound system. Tech lovers will appreciate the 540-degree camera system, which provides a transparent chassis view to let you see directly under your tires when navigating tricky off-road obstacles or tight parking spots. The Land Rover Defender takes a different approach, blending rugged industrial design with high-end luxury. The interior features exposed structural grab handles, rubberized washable flooring on base models, and premium materials like Windsor leather or Ultra fabrics on upper trims. The infotainment is handled by Land Rover's latest Pivi Pro system on a 13.1-inch curved touchscreen, alongside a 12.3-inch interactive driver display. You get options like a 3D surround camera system, ClearSight digital rear-view mirror, head-up display, integrated center console refrigerator, and a high-fidelity Meridian surround sound system. Where the Jetour T2 feels like a luxury lounge packed with futuristic screens, the Defender feels like a modern industrial fortress built with high-end craftsmanship. Pricing and value breakdown. Here is where the entire comparison reaches its climax. The price tag. The Jetour T2 starts globally around $32,000 to $38,000 US. For under $40,000, you get a fully loaded 4x4 SUV featuring a 2.0-liter turbo engine, 20-inch alloy wheels, panoramic glass roof, Sony sound system, 15.6-inch screen, and advanced driver assistance systems. The Land Rover Defender starts globally around $63,500 US for an entry-level P300S model. Once you step up to a well-equipped P400X Dynamic or X trim, prices quickly climb to $77,000 to $97,000 US. Go all the way up to the V8 or Octa models, and you are looking at $118,000 to over $160,000 US dollars. To put that into perspective, you could buy two fully loaded Jetour T2s for the cost of a single mid-spec Defender, 11OP400, and still have cash left over for fuel and road trips. Practicality and everyday usability. As a daily driver, both vehicles excel, but in different ways. The Jetour T2 is built for modern suburban and city life. Its lighter unibody platform, responsive steering, and standard feature set make commuting easy. Fuel economy from its 2.0-liter turbo engine averages around 7.2 to 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is quite reasonable for a boxy SUV. The rear seats offer ample legroom and headroom, and the rear cargo area delivers up to 752 liters of boot space with the seats up. The Land Rover Defender 110 offers exceptional high-speed highway cruising stability, whisper-quiet cabin insulation, and optional air suspension that smooths out potholes effortlessly. It also offers third-row seating configurations, or the stretched Defender 130 if you need true 8-passenger capacity, along with a massive towing capacity of up to 3,500 kilograms, 7,716 pounds. However, fuel consumption on the P400 and V8 models is significantly higher, and maintenance costs over time will naturally reflect its luxury brand positioning. The final verdict. So, what's the final takeaway when comparing the Jetour T2 and the Land Rover Defender? If you are looking for ultimate prestige, legendary off-road capability, V8 engine options, air suspension refinement, and brand heritage, and budget is not a limiting factor, the Land Rover Defender remains the king of modern luxury off-roaders. It is an engineered masterpiece that commands respect anywhere on Earth. However, if you want unbeatable value, striking head-turning design, a feature-packed digital cabin, reliable daily performance, and real four-wheel drive capability for a fraction of the cost, the Jetour T2 is one of the smartest automotive buys on the market today. It delivers 80% of the look, tech, and fun of a luxury off-roader for less than 50% of the price tag. Now I want to hear from you down in the comments below. Would you buy the value-packed Jetour T2 or save up for the iconic Land Rover Defender? If you enjoyed this detailed breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on